What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Islam Makhachev fighting at middleweight? With Belal Muhammad sitting atop the welterweight division, there's been some talk of Islam Makhachev making the move up to middleweight in pursuit of champ status. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. While Dricus du Plessis may have already said that he doesn't think a jump to 185 is a good idea for the champ, aka head coach Javier Mendez weighed in on the situation in an interview with the Schmo, saying that he thinks Islam could definitely make the move up to 185 if he wanted to.
I 100% feel Islam can do that if that's what he wanted to do, but it's what he wants to do that will happen, not his ability. His ability, come on, I see it in the gym, guys, I see it, so I know how good this guy is. So yeah, 185 is not going to be an issue for him. It's a matter of whether he wants to. When he comes in training camp, he's always walking around 179, 180. So obviously if he ever went to middleweight, he'd have to put on some muscle. But not saying he can't, and not saying he won't or doesn't want it. I don't know, we never discussed it.
Not everyone was sold though. In response to Mendez, the MMA guru weighed in on the situation, saying that if Makhachev went to war with Volk and Dustin Poirier, he may have a tougher time at 185 than Mendez is expecting. Are we still pretending he didn't go tooth and nail with Volkanovski and struggle with Poirier? Poirier stuffed 11 of 16 takedowns and was behind by 14 significant strikes before the sub, 88-74. Are we pretending again, Javier? I mean, really? He also followed it up by taking aim at a story Mendez has told about Khabib Nurmagomedov training with Luke Rockhold, where the lightweight was able to dominate Rockhold despite the size difference between the two. Khabib ragdolled Rockhold at sparring. I watched him fail to establish dominance in round 1 against Conor and failed to take him down in round 3, stop it. Considering Makhachev's already booked to fight Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira is looking to get back into title contention, don't expect the UFC to entertain a move up to 185 for the champ. Alexander Volkanovski reveals his top 5 fighters of all time. While fans wait for Alexander Volkanovski to get his chance to reclaim featherweight gold, Volk has been keeping the MMA community entertained on his YouTube channel. In his latest video, the former champion answered some fan questions, discussing a wide range of topics from fighting to food. One fan asked Volk for his list of the 5 greatest fighters of all time, and in response, the former champion gave a somewhat controversial answer. I'm gonna say Demetrius Johnson. I'm gonna have to throw John Jones in there. Everyone knows my take on, the trouble outside of it, but I mean, he's been at the top forever, you know what I mean? So you can't deny his skill. He's definitely one of the greatest of all time, so you're gonna have to give John Jones that. So Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, Georges St. Pierre has definitely got to be up there. And we're running out of room. I'm going to have to throw Anderson Silva in there. I'm going to throw my boy Israel Adesanya as well. While Mighty Mouse, John Jones, GSP, and Anderson Silva are widely recognized as 4 of the greatest fighters of all time, fans argued that other fighters like Jose Aldo deserve to be included over Izzy. Considering that Volk used to weigh 214 pounds while he was playing rugby and he competed at 185 in amateur MMA, one fan half-jokingly asked if he'd ever make the jump up to throw down with Alex Pereira.
Ha! Oh mate, money talks, mate, money talk. Imagine having to step up and fight that monster. So you could say,
the price is right, and do it.
Yeah, the price is right, I'll do it. I would. I could see myself be like, all right, I'm hanging on to a leg, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a confident guy, but I ain't gonna stand there with that bloke, you know what I mean? Let's be real. I'm gonna try and hang on to the legs and I'm gonna try and find that takedown or go for everything, hoping I can get that takedown. Because if you don't, whoo, you're gonna be in for some hurting, that's for sure.
With the new year right around the corner, expect some news on Volk's next fight sooner rather than later. Former UFC fighter exposes Dana White and Joe Rogan. Bryan Battle missing weight for the UFC 310 card in Vegas has been a major talking point all month long, specifically because his opponent, Randy Brown, alleged that he made the conscious decision to stop trying to make weight and instead forfeit a chunk of his purse so that he could come in overweight and have an advantage come fight night. On the latest episode of the Weighing In podcast, Josh Thompson and Big John McCarthy spoke about the situation. As Thompson alleged, when he fought Nate Diaz back in 2013, Diaz didn't actually make weight and instead wound up getting some help from the officials. He got on the scale, he was 1 pound off, it was very obvious, I was watching it, and then he gets off and he takes his underwear off, they put a sheet around him, he steps on, still didn't make weight. He gets off, they talk about it in the huddle, Joe Silva, Dana, Joe Rogan's like kind of listening in, they talk about it in the huddle, he gets back on, didn't take anything else off because he's naked with a towel around him and all of a sudden he made weight. While the pair pointed out that in the 3rd round of the Battle Brown fight, Bryan Battle seemed like he was the fresher fighter, the same can't be said for Diaz in his 2013 fight with the Punk. In the second round, Thompson landed a clean head kick and then followed up with a series of punches that forced the referees to step in, with Diaz losing by stoppage for the first time in his career. MMA community reacts to Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul. After rumors that Logan Paul and Conor McGregor were in talks for a boxing match in India, ESPN's Salvador Rodriguez reported on Monday that the former champ's now in talks to fight Jake Paul in either July, August, or September in India. McGregor seemed to pour fuel on the fire several hours later when he took to social media, simply writing TKO without any sort of context. The news was met with plenty of mixed reactions from the combat sports community as fans weighed in on the report. Unfortunately, Conor is getting slept by fake Paul. Another one bites the dust. Another replied, people are forgetting McGregor landed more shots on Mayweather than any of his other opponents. Logan couldn't land one flush shot. Conor by KO. Another member of the MMA community added, Conor McGregor versus Jake Paul will be a huge money heist for boxing, but we'll all be watching on Netflix. Despite all the buzz, not everyone's excited by the report. Gonna be a snooze fest. When was the last time McGregor won a fight? One fan agreed. We good. Watching Conor take an L for money is a disgrace to his legacy. If he loses, his career is over. Of course, given the news, the predictions started to roll in. McGregor is not a boxer, lol. No fan of Jake Paul, but he beats McGregor all day. Another wrote, always knew somehow, someway Jake Paul would fight Conor McGregor. What a spectacle, man. From the sounds of things, if the fight does happen, not everyone will be watching. No one's watching this nonsense. It's clearly staged. And they're only fighting in India to dodge sanctions. Real boxers shouldn't back this. I've tried giving JP a chance, but after that Tyson letdown, everything feels fake. As others pointed out, considering McGregor's still under contract with the UFC, the promotion would have to sign off on any boxing matches that he does. Considering the McGregor-Mayweather fight was a one-off, it seems pretty unlikely that the UFC winds up agreeing to let McGregor box Paul in a sanctioned bout. UFC updates. We might not have many UFC cards on the calendar until the UFC 311 card on January 18th, but the UFC updates just keep rolling on. After being signed to the UFC, Alexander Topuria, the brother of Ilia Topuria, will be making his debut on the UFC 312 card down under against Cody Haddon. Topuria, also known as El Cazador, hasn't fought since May of 2023 when he picked up a first-round win to extend his pro record to 4-1. While on the flip side, Haddon is coming off an October win over Dan Argueta after punching his ticket to the big show with a win on Dana White's Contender Series back in August. We've also got two fight updates to upcoming cards, starting with a change to the Cody Brundage-Ryan Loder fight scheduled for March 1st. Apparently, Loder has been forced out of the bout, and in response, the UFC has booked Julian Marquez as a short-notice replacement opponent. With Brundage coming off a no contest back in July and Marquez in the midst of a 3-fight skid, both guys are going to be looking to get back in the win column. Last but not least, we've got a change to the March 15th Fight Night card. Originally, Carly Giudice was supposed to fight Juliana Miller. However, Miller has now been forced out of the fight and replaced by undefeated UFC newcomer Unazi Dubin. Dubin's fresh off a first-round finish on Dana White's Contender Series, while on the flip side, Giudice is coming off a split decision loss in her UFC debut back in June. Francis Ngannou wants rematch with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's loss to Alexander Usyk over the weekend might have helped set the stage for a huge rematch between the Gypsy King and Francis Ngannou in the new year. During a brief interview with PBF in Saudi Arabia, Ngannou was asked about a potential bout between Fury and Anthony Joshua. Instead, the Predator said that the only thing that matters to him is a rematch between him and Fury. What I want to see now is Tyson Fury and Francis Ngannou. That's all what matters for me. Ngannou also weighed in on Usyk's win and the scoring in Saturday's fight, saying that he thought the bout was closer than the ringside judges indicated. Heading into Saturday's fight, Turki Al-Sheikh said during an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show that he had some ideas in mind for Ngannou's next fight, and he was just waiting to meet with the PFL champion to discuss things. With Fury now on a 2-fight skid and Ngannou looking to run things back, the stars might align for a rematch between the two in the new year, if of course Fury's down. Since the loss, the Gypsy King has played coy when it comes to his future, declining to comment after the loss and then saying that fans might see him fight again, or they might not. In either case, after his latest loss, Fury doesn't seem interested in talking about what's next until the new year. Islam Makhachev trolls Merab Dvalishvili for UFC PI incident. Islam Makhachev's pouring fuel on the fire after Merab Dvalishvili wasn't let into the PI while Umar Nurmagomedov was training on Monday. After showing up to the PI to get some work done on an injury and do some training of his own, the machine was told that he couldn't enter because Umar was already there. The champ wasn't happy with the whole ordeal and wound up making a video for social media, discussing the whole thing, which then led to fans debating whether it was fair that he was denied entry after agreeing to defend his title on short notice. Shortly after, Islam Makhachev decided to take it upon himself to troll the champion by posting a picture of him and Umar at the PI together. So far, the machine has not responded to Makhachev, but considering there's already plenty of bad blood between Dvalishvili and Merab, with Makhachev's latest jab, the UFC better make sure that they have plenty of security on hand when these three take the stage for the Fight Week press conference leading up to UFC 311. Concerns rise for Colby Covington having CTE after video surfaced of him slurring his words at his latest poker tournament, just days after UFC Tampa, where he got punched in the head multiple times by Joaquin Buckley.
No nerd is safe. We're giving swirlies. We're taking nerds much monies.
Fans are concerned that the long-term effects of getting hit in the head may be playing a role in Colby's life. Here's what fans had to say. Buck beat CTE into that man. Buckley did more damage than we thought. Goddamn, game-bred fighter really did break this kid's brain. Wow. Damn, that's right out of a comedy TV show scene I've seen somewhere but can't think of the name. Bro has been slowly morphing into Tito since the 7th layer of hair. If you say Lurds munch monies 3 times on Christmas, BJ and Tito show up and microwave you a burrito. He makes Tito look like Shakespeare. Buckley expedited his CTE.